Hey there guys, DMO73 here, bringing you the deck profile for the 4-color Book of Light deck that you guys saw me play on Wednesday. This was sent to me by my friend Serra Peck, who top aided Collinsville with her Ascended Allosaurus build. She sent me a bunch of different Book of Light lists, and this was the one that I think I was going to enjoy the most. It used Will of Hope stuff the most, and I just like this color combination. It's really primarily 3 colors, but we do have some red cards in there, so that's why I'm saying it's 4-color. It's actually probably 5-color if we're thinking it that way. But anyway, we primarily are green, black, and white. Those are the primary colors for it. With a splash of blue for some other things, but we'll talk about that when we get there. So Book of Light, obviously Judgment of X, energizes for white, can't have Will of Despair cards in your deck, and you can pay any color to pay the attribute cost of Will of Hope cards. So that's pretty good. And then you flip it over, and it becomes Re-Earth, the New World Fairy Tale. So can't be destroyed, still can have the will filtering thing. And then when it enters your field, it triggers, and when that resolves, you can grab a Will of Hope card from your sideboard, total cost X or less, X was your judgment cost, and put it into the field. And if that creature ever leaves the field for any reason, then Book flips back over. But it's important to note here that if the creature leaves the field, Book flips back over, but if Book flips back over for any reason, the creature stays. And that's what this deck utilizes the most to kind of get a lot of value out of it. I essentially would call this deck Butterfly Book, if I was to give it a cool name, just because we essentially use Book like a repeatable Kaguya's Moonbeam Butterfly. But I'll talk about that when we get there. So color-wise, we play 3 Gusting Skies for green-white. We play 3 Black Silence for black-green, and we play 2 Light Vapors for white and blue, and 2 Deep Woods for blue and green. So the primary color here really is green and white. They're the things we want the most of, but then we splash in a little bit of black and then a little bit of blue to make use of some of our tech cards. So going into the Resonator base, we don't run a ton because most of our heavy hitter Resonators are in the sideboard. We run 2 Little Red. I would consider moving one of her to the sideboard just so you have access to one if you want to like quick search for her. If you have 3 stones, she becomes a 1-drop 4/4 flying swiftness creature, which is really good to close out games. Can get really, really big if you have multiple Milliums out, which is also really good. I usually get her out as a 1-drop 8/8 with flying and swiftness. It's just very, very good. Then we play 3 Charlottes. The Charlotte is primarily to make use of the reduction of cost for making rewriting laws, produce extra will essentially, and it can help reduce the cost of a Kaguya's Moonbeam Butterfly, where you'll declare that you're paying X of 3, and then she'll let you only pay 3 total to pay for the entire 5-cost Kaguya's Moonbeam, and then you can grab something huge. So especially if you have multiple, it's really, really nice. Then we play 1 each of Alice's, the Alice of Dark, or Dark Alice, and the Alice Girl of the Blue Planet. The reason why we only play 1 Alice of the Blue Planet is because you can only get 1 God's Art, so that's kind of irrelevant. And the Dark Alice is so that we, once you usually get it locked out with Neo Barrier, you don't need a second one, but we do have the second one in the sideboard, so that's the reason there. We play 3 zeros, the King's Blade. This card is insane. I love this card. It's excellent for quick casting, puts in a lot of damage once Millium comes on the board, helps slow down your opponent, and it makes it so all your stuff can't be bounced, which is one of the big ways to protect the field once you have double Millium. Then we play 2 Abduls. Little hard to cast, but we play it just so we can stop enter effects. And then we play 3 Millium in the main to serve as that field pump. And if you have 2 on the field, it's just a complete and total barrier lock, which is really nice. Moving into the spells. 2 high-speed dashes, essentially our reload button for Book. It's really nice to cast this on your Book during the upkeep, and then you can flip Book back over and then immediately judgment it again and grab another creature. Really, really nice, especially for setting up the Millium lock. 4 Rewriting Laws helps us cast our black cards a little bit easier, as well as helps us to thin the deck out, which is nice because we don't have too many Resonators. 4 Kaguya's Moonbeam Butterfly, because again, it helps us thin out the deck and grab whatever we need, whether that be an addition or a Resonator. Really, really good. 2 soul debts for some spot removal. Just wanted to try this card out. Definitely probably would replace it with something else. But this is what we have for green right now. We play 4 Dawn of the Earth because this card is amazing. Gives, you know, pumps, extra attacks, makes stuff not be able to cheat it into play. Lots of cool stuff you can do with Dawn of the Earth. 2 Millennium Bond and 2 Severing Winds for our cancel spells. We don't really care a ton about canceling stuff, especially once we get double Millennium out. So Millennium Bond is just fine to like cancel like something like Final Battle, which really hurts your opponent because then they've just paid a bunch of life, which is nice. 4 Ryula's Volition. This card is insane. It costs 1 of any color if you target something with just Will of Hope, which is all we have. Gives it +8/+8, barrier, and flying for 1 at instant speed. This card is nuts. This card wins me so many games with this deck. Definitely the highlight. If you're playing a book deck, light Will of Hope book deck, you have to play 4 of. There's no reason to not. And then 1 Valentina's Reach. Just because if the game gets long, it's really cute when you have 0 on the board to just make your opponent discard their entire hand and then say, well, you can only draw 1 card a turn. So then they just kind of get locked out no matter how much draw power they have. Also helps refill your hand, which is nice sometimes. And then 2 Neo Barrier of Shadows to help with, again, the lock. One of the many different locks this deck can do. Then the sideboard, I just kind of built a sideboard of a bunch of different Will of Hope. So Dark Alice, Nyarlathotep, Kaguya, Gale Force Pursuer Christie, Lumia, another 0. Faria is amazing. I really like her especially once you've got a couple Grims down to protect her, or Milliums down to protect the field and make her a 13/13. She just stops all the damage. 2 Prisias because they can be really good against decks that run a lot of different Resonators. And she just gets stronger and stronger and stronger. A Grim, an extra Millium, just so if we can't draw one, we have access to one from the deck to start the lock. Another Alice, again, just in case we can't see it, so that we can get the Gods Art when we need it. And then a Mephistopheles, just to round out the Will of Hope package. Essentially, the best lock that you can get is like 2 Milliums, Neo Barrier of Shadows, 0, and Alice, with Alice calling the God's Art that you need, and Dark Alice to unseal Neo Barrier of Shadows. Now that might seem like a lot, but with Milliums providing barrier for all of your creatures, and with the high-speed dash, that lock is actually not very hard to get, and it just makes it so that your opponent just can't do anything, which is really awesome. But that is the list. I hope you guys liked it. Hope you guys liked the feature match. It was a ton of fun to play. Huge thanks to Sarah for shipping me the list. I made a couple changes to it, but this is my take on it, but she gave me the core. So huge thanks to her. Let me know what you guys think, what kind of things you're doing with your Book of Light. Go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe. Share out the video to all your Force of Will loving friends. And until next time, this is DMO73 signing off.